Again, long story short, we're here today. We're going to talk about the market. We're going to talk about trading. We're going to talk about everything. Oh, there's Brian. Brian said hi. Wonderful. Again, if you just came in, my name's Melissa Armour. I own the stock Swoosh. We're going to talk today about trading the side of institutional money and gaps. We're going to talk about how you can make money in the market. And it's really interesting because, again, it's the end of 2025. No one could have ever foreseen where the market would go this year. 12 months ago, no one could have foreseen what happened with tariffs, let alone interest rates. I'm sure a lot of people thought interest rates were going to drop more than we thought last year or this past year. And the Fed has a meeting in 1 week. Mark your calendars from today. So again, there's going to be a lot of volatility running up into next Wednesday, and could be even then after the Fed meeting. Oh, we got another hello there from Bob. Wonderful. So let's talk today. And if you have any questions, you can email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. There's Tom. Good. Everybody can hear me. You can always call me and ask me questions at 929-3200-GAP. And today's really nice gap, actually, I plopped it in here, was Netflix. Did a put in this very early this morning, fell off the planet. And again, for those of you that don't know what I do, I trade gaps. I'm mostly short. We're going to talk about that today. But again, this was today. So this was Netflix. So the stock closed here last night, gap down, fell off a planet. And again, I still think Netflix is lower. So if you're here and you don't have a strategy to trade, or you're all over the place, or you've been buying the dip all year and now it's not working, you're here to learn something, maybe one takeaway, two takeaways for maybe thinking if you want to learn my system. You know, a lot of people, again, come to me and they don't have a strategy. They don't have a system. It's important to have a system. It does not mean that every trade that I take using my system works. I have some trades that lose, but I follow my system to the letter so that overall, over the course of a calendar year, I get good results and I have more winners than losers, and I have some big winners. And again, I think Netflix has some more extension in it, which we can talk about at the end here when we're done. But if you've been trading for a while and you really all over the place, even this year, you want to get out of a rut. You know, I always get this question like, is everyone successful that comes to you? No, there's some people that have problems with some things, that they have bad habits that they did before, that they have a hard time getting out of their bad habits. And that's something that it's a mental issue that you have to work on, where you almost have to let it go. Sort of like a bad habit, like if you're a smoker and you want to quit smoking. You know, sometimes it takes time to relinquish and release a bad habit. So if you're in a rut doing something you know you should not be doing, or maybe even sizing your trades wrong, you know, or getting out too late, or getting out too early, or doing the wrong thing, or flip-flopping, or chasing something. I can name a million different things that people do that make mistakes. You've got to get out of these bad habits if you have them. And it's always a good time, you know, you start New Year's resolutions in January. Everybody's big on those. Usually it's an exercise program, it's losing weight, it's something like that. Again, the new year is a fresh time to start something new, and you want to start that energy, start that momentum, start that mindset now, you know, before you get into 2026, because before you know it, boom, it's going to be January. It's hard to believe. I mean, literally, Thanksgiving was late this year. I hate it when Thanksgiving's late because it feels like, boom, we just fall right into Christmas. But literally, Thanksgiving was last week, and then Christmas was less than a month from Thanksgiving. In fact, tonight, they're lighting the tree at Rockefeller Center in New York. So, you know, this time is going so fast. You're at your best when you're organized, prepared, and almost ahead of the game. In fact, if there was one thing I could say about myself, and any of you, some of you have traded with me, I'm usually really early in trades. In fact, sometimes I look at something and I don't take it because I think it's too late to do it, and then I kind of laugh at myself because I could have done it because it really wasn't too late to do it. But if anything, a lot of times I'm early in my trades, where I might take a trade and be down before it goes because I like to be early. I'm an early morning person. I'm early in my trades, and I feel like, again, the early bird gets the worm and gets the best entry and has the highest chance of success. So Again, why are you here? You're probably here because you need some help with a strategy. You want to make money in the market. And again, if this is something you want to do for a career, you have to take it seriously. And like I said, it really is about following one strategy. And for me, it's about common sense. So I'm following the moves that institutional money makes in the market. And then I am capturing those moves on a small time frame in a small period of time daily. So when I'm doing day trades, I'm entering on the 1 minute chart. If I am doing an option, okay, I'm playing it on the daily. Again, if I'm doing a day trade, I'm making the decision on the daily, but I'm entering on the 1 minute. So you got to have a daily chart. You got to have a 1 minute chart if you're going to trade with me. So what am I trading? Again, one system, and it's called the Golden Gap. So here was BA. Actually, we did this today. Stock closed here, gap down, fell. So what is a gap? A gap is the difference between the close and the open. So BA closed at one price here at 4 o'clock and opened at a different price at 9:30. Every day we have a close and we have an open. Again, this open here around 221 and change, fell off the planet, came all the way down to about 212-ish. So you could have shorted BA here, or you could have done a put, okay? Again, I like to do both. And when I'm saying a short, a day trade, I mean where you're shorting the shares on margin, okay? Just so you understand. Now, again, this is a gap down. Then it did what? Then it closed here, then it had another gap down, okay? And again, this fell. So you say, well, what happened here? The bears took control of BA. Actually, let me just see. Can you see BA right now? Can you see my chart without stopping it and turning it on and off? Hello? Can you see it? Or do I need to stop and start it? Okay, Brian can see it. Anyways, long story short, BA fell today. This was not a large gap down. In fact, it was barely a gap down. It was a baby gap down. But then there was news that came out, and the stock absolutely tanked. So again, I just want to show you what happened today with the BA. BA closed yesterday. It had a pre-earnings. Kind of came out of nowhere. Pre-earnings can happen where they anticipate and give an earnings that's ahead of the earnings, which is not till next year, 2026, but they said something good. So the stock gapped up yesterday and rallied. Then today it turned around and gapped down. It closed at 205.38 and then gapped down and opened at 204.60 and then fell. So this is a big move to the downside today. If you played it, you could have bought a put in it, got in, got out. You could have done a day trade in it, which we did, got in, got out. And again, this fell. Now, again, like I was telling you, I don't do swing trades where I'm not holding shares overnight that are on margin. I will hold options, okay? But anyways, long story short, this BA fell today too. And there could be lots of reasons for gaps. Just in the last 2 days, in the 48 hours, we had 2 reasons for 2 different gaps. We had a pre-earnings announcement here, and then we had news that rocked it opposite. So again, things happen all the time. And sometimes things happen in your favor that you don't predict, and sometimes things happen not in your favor that you predict. Again, that's part of the volatility in the market. Now, this was one we did at the end of October in the BA. We did the 210 puts. I'll go back and show you that day. And this was a nice gap. Again, this was end of October, beginning of November. And I thought this was pretty cheap for the stock. Now, again, I don't think BA is crazy expensive at $210 a share. But if you don't have a margin account and you can't short the stock, just like you couldn't have done the day trade today, you could have bought a put today, got in, got out. But this was a nice trade if you wanted to hold it for a continuation move. $275 was the cost, and again, sold it at 14. I could have held it to the last day, which I'm going to show you in a minute. I could have made more. This was 410% return on investment. Profit was $39,375. I'm risking a very large amount, or what I call an advanced amount, because I've been trading for almost 20 years. If you're a beginner, you could have risked $13.75 and made $56.25. You could have taken one. You could have taken one. You could have risked $275 and still made over 400%. And again, I get this question a lot going back to the chart. This was not the best exit I could have had. I chose to get out of it where I did. I could have held it. This is where we did it. Okay, here we are, the 29th. Then it fell. And again, here's where I got out of it, which I thought was a good exit. And it was. But look at it, kept going. It came all the way down here. So I get this question a lot. Do I always have the perfect exit? No, I don't, because my goal is to make money, and that's your goal, not to try to pick the bottoms or pick the tops. Okay? And you're not gonna win doing that. I can tell you right now, you're never gonna win doing that on a consistent basis, because it's almost impossible to do. Somewhere you have to make a decision. You're gonna get out of the trade and you're up. Do you know what I'm saying? So again, this was one of the ones though where nobody lost in it. Even if you got out here, you made money. If you held it here, you made money. Even the day it rallied, you were still up, because it was in the money that much. But anyways, when I'm doing an option, I'm buying the put or call and selling it to exit. And I do prefer to hold options overnight. Okay? In fact, I'm in Netflix overnight. Like I said, I think it's lower. Any questions about that? I see some people that came in late. Anyways, as I was saying, opportunity sets up daily in gaps, which really counts, because if you're going to do this where you want to make a living trading, then you need to chunk it out. You need to find active moves, profitable moves, momentum moves on a consistent basis in order to make money. And there might be some days I don't have any gaps that rate per my system. We don't trade, but it's not that often. For the most part, we're looking for something specific. Again, that doesn't have anything to do with the market. BA didn't have anything to do with the market today. BA didn't have anything to do with the market the day we did it. Okay? And again, any questions, you have to type in the chat and choose my name for those of you that came in late. Now, I want to talk about the room. Okay? I don't do options in the room. I day trade in the room. I call the entry, the stop, and the exit in the room. It's a trades on margin. Okay, if you want to do the trades on margin, you would take the trades with me. You want to do the options come to your email, and I usually send them out early. This is 1 week of trading results in the room, and one of these days actually we didn't do a trade, but this was in November, and I risk about an average of $4,500 a trade. That's not the cost of the position, that's per risk per trade from where I enter and put the stop. Same thing with options. If you take a risk, I'd set your risk. I play my trades to win or lose. I don't kill them in the middle of them. So my stop for my options is essentially my risk. Rose has a question. How many trades do you do weekly? Well, again, if you're talking about the day trades, I'm usually doing 1 trade a day. If I make money in the first trade, I stop, Rose. If I take a stop in the first trade, I might do a second trade or a third trade. So again, in a good day, I'm doing 1 trade and done. But again, I might take 2 in one particular day. Now on this day here on the 7th, we did 2. Let's go over both these days. I did 2 here. This was 11-7, closed here, gap down, fell. This was the market. This tail, we shorted. Now, this was a day I did do 2 trades, and they both worked because I really liked 2 things, even Steven. So it's unusual I would do 2 things and just ride them, but I did. Because normally I'm out of my trades really fast and quick. This was a day where I held things a little bit longer because I liked the market to fall, which it did. So we played the market with something else. But normally it's 1 trade a day. Unless I take a stop, then I'll do a second trade. So I would say day trades could be 5 a week, could be 8. It's not a million. We don't trade all day. I open the room at 9. We're usually done by 10 o'clock, 10:15. Options is different. I may not do any trades for 3 days. And then I might do 6 trades in 1 day in options. Do you know what I'm saying? So options are different, where I may not have a trade at all for several days in a row. And then I may have a bunch of trades, and then I'll wait and play those trades out until they go. So that's different because I have more time, okay? And I'm doing the weekly options. Anyways, here was the 7th, shorted it. Again, you could have bought the daily put, 607.05, dropped to 599.25. Again, profit, $21,840. This is a big position, I'm not gonna lie. But again, you could have bought the put that expired. If you wanted to, I'm going to go back to this. You could have put this is a Friday. You could have bought the one that expired that day if you wanted to. If you want to get in and out as a day trade, if you didn't want to pay the margin cost, okay? But we've been doing market puts, so we had market puts on anyways. Then that day I did the BA again because I love this BA. This was, again, the Friday, closed here, gap down, fell. Again, this was a day trade. Shorted it at 195.25, boom. Got the drop. Trying to look for $1, so this is almost $2. So this is great. It's a fabulous, fabulous trade. Again, I'm trying to get $1 usually. So this was almost 2. So again, I'm in and out, usually very quick in the morning. That was two things though on the Friday. Then we actually went long. So this was Amazon here. We actually went long on the 10th. Why? It gapped up. We had a gap up and Amazon rallied. We went long. We got in, we got out. I went long at 249.30. Again, this is a margin trade. It's a day trade. Try to get $1. Got a little bit more. Made $3,000. This is, again, in and out, boom and done. This was a bullish gap up, so I went long. I'm only going long bullish gap ups. I'm only shorting bearish gap downs. So in other words, something like this, I'm just going to go back here. Amazon gapped up. So you could be like, well, it fell. I did not buy a put in this because I'm not going to short a gap up ever, even if it falls. And again, I respect the gap either way. But that's the whole point of the rating system, to rate to determine, hey, is this going to fall and keep falling, or is this going to rally? Okay. So that was a good day trade. So occasionally I'll go long, but we mostly short. Then on the 11th, here, we did this one here. This was in a video. Closed here, gap down, fell. This chart has been crazy. Again, we can pull this up when we're done with this. This was the 11th at a short. Again, look at this. This was not even a month ago. Today's the 3rd. It's not even a month ago. And I'm going to pull up the chart when we're done here and show you where this thing is. 194.50. Boom. Got the drop. $1 out. Done. 193.15. 47.25. Again, if you want to do 100 shares, if you want to do 200 shares, if you want to do the put, get in, get out. Now, let's just take a look at NVIDIA. Get this organized here. And while I'm pulling this up, you can ask me any questions. Look at where this is compared to where we did it from before. Look at this. Again, this isn't even a month. And look at it. Now, I'm just showing you today. I'm just showing you right now today. The stock closed red. The low today was 179.11. And the day we did it, that one I just went over with you, was here. Snug as a bug. 195-ish was the high. This stock has dropped almost $20 since the earnings. You see that? Or since the gap, I'm sorry. So again, this sector has taken a beat down. You know, people are going on and on about this sector, but it's really taken a beat down. In fact, we could have done a day trade in that today. Then on the 12th, no trades. Again, nothing met my criteria. Then on the 13th, we did NVIDIA again. Again, we could have done it today as a day trade. Closed here, gap down, fell for Planet. This was a bigger sell-off there. Shorted it at 190.70, dropped again, $1 or more, out. Very simple. You get in, get out, get in, get out. When you're doing day trades, you only have between 9:30 and 4. You don't have forever and ever and ever. You have a very short period of time. And in my opinion, you really only have the morning. That's it. You can't mess around. You can't mess around. Like, you got to get in, get out before something happens. There's a press conference, the Fed, whatever. And so the best chance of success is for day trading. I'm talking about margin trading, is to get in and out quick in the morning, the first hour of the day. That is what I focus on. That is what I do. That's why I don't trade all day. And again, options is different. Options is different. You can hold options longer. So total of 5 days was 42,740. These are trades on margin. If you don't want to do margin trades, you can do options. Again, I do options too, but I'm telling you and explaining that I hold options longer. I do not get out of options for the most part. I'm not saying never, but for the most part, I don't get out the same day I do them unless I have a crazy, crazy big move, which sometimes can happen. If I have a crazy big move, then I'll get out of the option the day I do it. Okay? Any questions about that? Or anything I just said about day trades or options or anything? Okay. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying about having a system, you have to put the odds in your favor. How are you going to do that? It's not just buying the dip. It's not just using indicators. Everybody has those things. Everyone can buy the dip. You have to find a way to put the odds in your favor. And so that's how I came up with the whole rating system in the first place. Because I'm looking at all these criteria, and when I add them up and total them, and if I get 20 points or more of the 26 that I have, that I make the decision to determination to do the trade or not, then I feel like I have a lot of criteria that is telling me, hey, this is going to sell off or it's going to rally, depending on if it's a gap up or gap down. And then I feel like I want to risk my own money because the criteria are there. It's telling me this looks good. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy not to take it kind of thing. And so that is the whole point of it. It's not a 50-50 crapshoot for me when I take trades. I feel like I have 100% conviction when I take the trade. I don't take a trade feeling that it's going to lose. I take the trade feeling that it's going to work. That's the whole point. And if you can get your mind on straight, you know, we were talking about this earlier, that you believe that you can make money, that you can believe that you can be successful, you will do less crazy actions. If you find yourself doubling down, you know, doing crazy things, trying to be a piggy with targets, holding too long or taking too much risk or over trading, whatever, it's chances are it's just fear and greed that are enveloping you because you're afraid you're going to lose, you're afraid you're not going to win, you're afraid you're going to miss it. And you can't have a mindset like that because it's going to work against you. You know what I mean? It's really going to work against you. Having a positive mindset and believing that you can do it and be successful is really important in trading. If I could make a cologne or perfume to sell, just people spray on them before they trade in the morning, the same level of confidence I have, I'd make $1 billion. Because, I mean, but the only way that you can get similar confidence of me is learning my system and doing it with me. And then seeing it work in live time. And then making the real money and saying, whoa, it did work. What she said Netflix was going to fall and then it did. That's crazy. That's fabulous. Like crazy fabulous. And that's how you get, again, the conviction to take the risk, because you're risking money. And whether it's a small amount or a big amount, you're still risking money. And it can be scary. It can be scary because if you don't understand it, and again, no one wants to lose. So if you're new and you're just starting, or you're just new and you have questions, you're uncertain, or you're just practicing, start with a lower risk. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Any other questions here? Any questions from anybody while I'm talking? Again, I see some familiar faces, but then I see some new faces. Some of you I don't recognize if you have questions. So getting back to how and why institutional money is in charge of the market and stocks at all times. A big flow of money going in a certain direction is what moves the market, stocks, creates momentum, and sets the trend in charts. When you're looking for institutional money, you're really reading the side of power in a stock. You want to be on the side of the power in order for you to make money trading. Institutional money is in charge of the market and stocks at all times, even if you think it's not. It is. And that's the genius of it. That's the amazing thing about doing this, and why, again, we're using technical analysis. Technical analysis is how I'm making the decisions. So anybody can do it. If you have a chart, you got to have live chart data. You got to have a daily chart. Rose says she loves my style of trading, quick in and out. Thank you. Thank you. So again, becoming a successful trader and investor requires becoming a specialist in defining where the institutions are buying or selling a stock. Learning advanced technical analysis is required to be successful because price is really what counts. And what does this mean? It means reading price action in charts. Comprehending how to read, define, and train with this power will have a huge positive impact on your profitability as a trader. Elevate yourself, your trading, and your profits to a higher level of consistency and success by learning how to read the footprints of institutions trading in the market. You know, just pretend for a minute that you have $1 billion. I'm going to pull up the market here. All right, we'll just look at this. This is a good example here. We'll just look at NVIDIA. No, let's look at Netflix. Go back to this. And again, any questions, plop it in the room. If you had $1 billion, would you short this right now? Or would you, I said you have $1 billion. You want to go long Netflix or do you want to short it? What would you do? You have to decide right now, today. What would you do? Hello, is anyone alive? Rose says short. She's got the right idea. Even if you said, Melissa, Netflix isn't going out of business. Again, the stock split a couple of weeks ago. It was over $700 a share, remember that? But you have $1 billion. it's lower before it's higher. So even if you thought it was eventually higher, which you don't know when, if you have $1 billion now, why not short it? Make the money shorting it, get the drop. You can always buy it later. Brian, you struggle with the shorts, but you got it. You would short it. You're here, Brian. I'm trying to help you with the shorting stuff. Ask me questions. What's going on in your mind? But you got this right. This was a short, Brian. Paul Michael says follow the trend, but that doesn't work all the time. If you just trend trade, you're not going to make money every day as a day trader or a momentum trader. Why? Because many times it goes against the trend. What's happening here with this? We just got done talking about this. This isn't an uptrend. This isn't an uptrend. But I wouldn't go long this here. In fact, we're short this. I'll tell you right now, we're short this. So you can't always trade the trend. And that's a whole nother long discussion, because basically a lot of people don't know how to read trend right, which I talk about in the trends class, but actually if it was that easy just to figure out the trend and then trade the trend, we'd never lose either. But a lot of people don't know how to read trend, but I will tell you, this isn't an uptrend and we're short it. But anyways, everybody got it right about Netflix. And we all agreed if we had $1 billion, we'd short it. So that's good. You're sort of getting it then. Anyways, comprehending how to read, define, and trade with this power will have a huge positive impact on your profitability as a trader. Elevate yourself, your trading, and your profits to a higher level of consistency and success by learning how to read the footprints of institutions trading in the market. Again, you could say, well, why? Why are they dumping Netflix? Why is big money dumping Netflix? I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care. Because I don't have time to read every report about everything. I mean, I read a lot, I talk on TV, I have to know a lot of stuff, but I mean, I need to sleep 8 hours a night too and have a life. So it's like, sometimes it's just like whatever. They obviously, the people that are taking trades and taking long-term positions, have more insight than we do. They have research reports, they've got information, they know what's going on. What I do have is the chart. What I do have is live price data. So again, I'm looking at advanced technical analysis to make the decision, and you can too. You can too. If you learn how to read the footprints of big position players before the momentum occurs, you can take the position in the right direction and get out after the move happens for profit. That's how you make money. Again, it's momentum trading. We're chunk it out. You have to understand how to trade with it. You have to understand how to read it, find it, and you have to know what it looks like. It's essential, okay? And again, you can make money in the market if you know what to do. Many people don't, or they get sucked into bad trades or not focusing. So just don't do that. And it's hard not to do that. Sometimes I get it. I get it. Any questions here? I see some people coming in late. Again, I trade one strategy. It's based on gaps. And I'm focused every day on doing nothing but golden gaps. So what is a gap? A stock gaps on the opening price today is different than the closing price of yesterday's trading. A gap is a break in price action from one day to the next. Simple. Okay, well, there's a bazillion gaps all the time. There'll be 1,000 gaps tomorrow, more. How do you know which to do? How do you know what ones to do? That's how I developed the rating system in the first place, because you can't short every gap down, you can't short every gap up, and vice versa. You have to look at it and determine it. So again, we went long on this particular day here. We went long the Amazon. This was the day we talked about here. This was a bullish gap. But then you also had over here a bearish gap in Amazon. Close to your gap down, fell. So you get bullish gaps, you get bearish gaps. Here's another one we've been doing too, PLTR. Again, this sector has been getting hammered. Close to your gap down, fell off a planet. Again, this was $10. Could have shorted it, could have done a put, could have got in, got out. That's a big move. Again, that was less than a month ago. So all of these moves that I'm showing you, all these big fat red bars, all these big monster reds, okay, show you and depict what? Selling, okay? So what's happening is the power of money is shorting. Again, big traders can short, or they're selling, okay? So again, how do you find gaps? There's a million places. All you have to do is turn on the TV in the morning. You could turn on Bloomberg, CNBC. They'll be talking about what's happening tomorrow. They'll be talking about Boeing today. It's not hard to find gaps. It's hard to find the good ones. And that's how I developed the system where I developed the checklist. So I find gaps and rate them using a checklist. Gaps have to be qualified. The checklist tells you what to look for in the price of the stock. And again, you got to have a chart. It's all in the daily chart. It's so important, though, not to get sucked into doing things just because you're in a chat room or watching the news. And I get that it's hard sometimes, but you have to pull yourself back. I've been watching less of the news in the last few weeks, and my trading, actually, I've been doing better, because you can get sometimes sucked in. Could be to help your trade or hurt your trade, though. Like, you're better off just kind of blocking it off. And then I have to listen to what's going on because I talk on TV, but I haven't been on TV that much lately. I've been too busy to even pitch a scenario. I should get on to talk about the Fed next week, but part of me is like, you know what? This is the last couple of weeks of the year. I want to focus on trading. And I think we're going to have a lot of activity. I think it's going to be a good time to trade this week, a good time to trade next week, and then we're going to, then we kind of just, go into the end of the year. A lot of people always expect a Christmas Santa Claus rally at the end of the year. Will we have it? I don't know. But that's a long, long, long time away from now, considering the Fed. No, I had a scanner and I was paying for a scanner and I felt like it was a waste of money. But if you want to pay for a scanner, you can. So there is only one thing and one thing only that can move the direction of a stock, and it's money. Not a little money, but a lot of money, or what I call power money. Power money is in charge. Power money is in charge of the stock's direction. Trends are set and moved by the power money people, of which there's a lot of in the market. More than you ever could possibly think of that there is. I mean, a lot. So again, gaps happen in the market on a regular basis. However, some gaps are better than others. Some gaps are nothing gaps, and some gaps are very powerful displays of institutional money. Like the Netflix is just a good example there. Most important gaps in the market are gaps that signify a change in direction or a bigger move in the same direction. Understanding which gaps are meaningful and which gaps are not meaningful in the market will help you to know what to do and when a change is occurring. That is how you know when the power money will flow to pay you. So I use a 26-point checklist. This is the meat and potatoes of everything I do. When I get up in the morning, I rate the gap. If I have 5 gaps, 6 gaps, 10 gaps, 3, 25, I rate them all, and it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to rate one. I could do it faster, but I don't rush it. Again, I don't do a trade unless I rate the gap. So this is what you learn from me. Now, if you come and you join and you learn the system and you get in the room, I'm obviously calling the trades in the room, but you should still be rating the gap yourself. I think it's still important because that's what gives you the conviction to do it. And again, we're all risking our own money when we're taking our own trades. And we want to be in that right mindset where we believe it's going to work and we understand and know why it's going to work. Understanding why something's going to work will help you trade and take risk. So the key to profits is power money. And again, when you think about it, you're like, oh, it totally makes sense. I'm going to trade on the side of big money, hedge funds, big traders. I'm going to focus on what that's doing, whether it's buying or selling. Again, I happen to prefer to short, but I will go long. But if you think about it, you're like, okay, this makes sense. I get it now. It makes a lot more sense than buying the dip. You know what I mean? Any questions here? Again, you're buying a dip. How do you know when the dip is going to stop? You don't. It's like picking a bottom. I did a webinar earlier today and someone was talking about how they pick bottoms. And I scratched my head and thought, man, is that dangerous? That's how people lose all their money, actually. And it happens. I hear horror stories. I've never traded like that, and I never will, because I understand the danger of doing that. You want to buy a stock while it's dropping. That's like if I stood on top of the roof of my building and said, hey, and you were down in the street, and you were in the bottom of the street, and Joe stood in the bottom of the street on the curb. I said, Joe, I'm going to throw this knife down. Catch it. Joe would be like, ah, it's a knife. Again, it's like you're trying to catch a falling knife if you're buying a dip. You have no idea where it's going to land. Same thing with me dropping a knife down off the top of the roof. You know what I'm saying? It's too dangerous. It's kind of crazy to do it, actually. But that's how people trade. People trade like that. That's what they do. And I'm not talking about trends. People do that in uptrends and they do that in downtrends. We're not long-term trading. We're not long-term investing. This is income generation. This is quick trades. This is fast trades. This is morning trades and the day trades. This is trades that we would do for options where we're directional trading for the momentum for a couple of days or a week. This is not Again, like I said, Netflix could go back to $700 in 5 years from now. That's not, I don't care. I'm not investing my money for 5 years in Netflix. I want to get in and out quick. Do you follow the difference? That is trading. That is what I consider a retail trader. But for some reason, a lot of retail traders trade like they have millions and billions of dollars, like they're Warren Buffett and they're swing trading, but they really don't have that much money to wait till the stock goes back to a certain number, and they're guessing it a pinpoint price where they could get in it to buy the dip, and then it keeps dropping. The trading room opens at 9 a.m. We start trading between 9:30 and 10, and we're usually done by 10 a.m., 10:15. So anyways, you're looking to pinpoint the direction the money's going to go by rating the price soon. Not like 5 years from now. You know what I mean? Anyways, talking about selling, that was a good one here. That was a good one there. We did that one. That was PLTR. And then this is going back, I mean, again, this feels like 100 years ago, but it was only the end of October. It's crazy. But this is Meta. Remember, Meta was rallying. Meta was strong. Ran up over 750. Then it had an earnings gap and it lost 100 points like that. So it was getting bought. And then it collapsed. You know? So again, things can change on a dime. They can rally, they can fall. We've been doing the market here. We've had some nice shorts in the market here. Again, that was November. So it's easy to press the button once you know what to do, once you know what to look for, then you have conviction. And I'm telling you, that really helps you make money. It makes a difference between winning or losing. It makes a difference between winning or winning a lot, especially if you're in an option and you're trying to decide if you want to hold it or not. And I'm telling you, most traders do not analyze as many things as I analyze to make trading decisions. They look at one or two things. Most traders are only looking at the trend, or they're looking at the market direction, what the market's doing. Most traders are usually looking at certain specific indicators, or they're buying the dip, or they're shorting resistance. And many traders actually are going long versus shorting, or they're going with the market for the particular day. If you want to trade effectively, you cannot go with a crowd of traders, because unfortunately most people that trade do lose. Part of it is their mentality about trading. Part of it is a lot of people don't have really the money to risk, and so they make choices and based on looking at their P&L instead of the chart, and then they lose because they're in fear when they trade. And a lot of people don't have the right education or a system to use to trade, and they think one or two indicators is going to help them, tell them what to do, and that's not the case. So you've got to also have an edge. My edge is shorting. I'm very good at shorting. My edge is gaps. Okay. And so again, I think it helps when you have an edge. And again, I'm good at the fast trades. I'm very, very good at the fast trades. I talk fast, I think fast. If you want to do the trades with me, I call them fast to the room. And that's why everyone in the room has done the class, because you got to know what you're looking for. Rose loves to short. Perfect. Rose, you're a perfect candidate then to join my group if you love to short. What's funny though, a lot of people, and I never knew this until I started the business, because I mean, I had friends and we shorted when I started trading again in 2008. I didn't like take a survey or anything of friends, but I mean, I was shorting, friends of mine were shorting, I was getting them into shorting. But until I started the business, I didn't realize that, oh my God, most people prefer to go long. I don't know why. Maybe it's something again where people get the idea of buying low and selling high. I don't know. It's like to this day, it's kind of like interesting to me that I don't know why people prefer to go long, other than again, it's just the mentality of just like buying stocks and holding them in your retirement account and that kind of thing. I don't know. But no one should be afraid to short. There's nothing scary about shorting. It's actually very advantageous. And again, you can make money shorting in a bullish market. You can make money shorting in a bearish market. You can make money shorting if a stock's in an uptrend. You can make money shorting if a stock's in a downtrend. Very difficult to make money going long if the market's falling. So again, guess what? You have a higher chance of making money if you're shorting, if you're on the short side most of the time, no matter what the market's doing or the stock. Because again, panic is so scary. It's scary. I can tell you right now, there are people who are trying to go long Netflix today. Let's see if we can find even where it was. I guarantee you people were doing it. They were like, this is extended, this is extended. Let's pull up the 1 minute. And any questions here, let me know. Well, you can see it here. Actually, you could tell people are long this right now. This lifted right in here. See it? This is people going long. Some shorts exiting. This is people going long here. You see this here? There's people that are along this overnight, that think it's extended, that think it fell too much, that think it can't go any lower. And there's people that are long this. I can tell by just looking at how this is trading here right now. And again, I'm not, but I'm giving you the full, I'm telling you this is what people do, and it's the wrong thing to do. You know what I mean? Anyways, it helps to have an edge. Earning power and knowing how to earn it is really what's important, and part of that has to do with understanding what to do. If you want to consistently make a lot of money in the market, the only way that will happen is if you have a high winning strategy, good money management, and a good mentor to follow in a live trading room. I don't know what it is about trading. There's something about it. It's almost like a mystery, or something like a little mystery thing. It's almost like the market doesn't let you be successful at all unless you actually make it. Like, unless you actually know what you're doing. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like either you're basically losing on the year. Now, again, some people can lose a lot. Some people can lose a little. Some people are break even, but it's almost like the market isn't going to let you make like a certain amount of money, like at all, if you really don't know what you're doing. Not even a little. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what it is. It's just the odds of the game or something. It's like you're either doing it and you're making it, or you're basically losing. It's like something about it. You know what I mean? Like, either you know what you're doing and you're making it and you're hitting it. And this isn't about every trade working. No, I'm saying over the course of a year, or you're losing. And again, I'm telling you, a lot of people lose, but it helps to have a good mentor. It helps to follow someone. I call the trades in the room. Again, like I said, time of the day is very important, especially in the morning, and you can do this from home. So I have someone that did the class last month. He had to split it up. He's doing the second half of the class this month too, because he lives in Australia. That's a tough time zone. That's a tough time zone. So again, I have people very far away. I don't think he's here. Is Ron here? There's if you live in the United States, whether you're East Coast or West Coast, you can make it work. You can get up early and you can make it work early, and you could trade before you go to your job or something. You know, there's people that are very far away, and people want to trade the U.S. stock market, but you can do it from anywhere in the world. You can do it from home. So I teach a class once a month. The last class of the year is not this weekend, but next weekend, the 13th and 14th, if you want to join. Again, you learn what to do and get in. You can get in and start trading before the class. You get this week's trades, next week's trades, do the class, learn it, and then go into 2026 with a full-on system that you can use. The Golden Gap course teaches a 26-point rating system to find the best stock to trade each day. The course also teaches you how to enter and exit the stock on the day. The course teaches price analysis and a technical analysis on an advanced level. It teaches one solid strategy to trade gaps effectively by reading the side of power in charts. So important. It teaches how to read support and resistance to take positions in the right direction, and it teaches a more proficient and advanced way to read charts, focusing on technical analysis and gaps. Again, if it was just easy to put certain indicators on your charts, then no one would ever lose, and that's just not reality. This is not reality. Like, I mean, again, common sense tells you that. Intersecting moving averages isn't going to tell you whether or not you should go long or short something. It teaches how to get conviction in your trading and the market as a source of wealth by trading with the side of power for consistent profit. And like I said, this is income generation. This isn't buy and hold mentality. First of all, we're mostly shorting, but we're not shorting and holding mentality. If I'm doing an option, it's out for a week or two. That's it. Okay, I'm not doing leaps. And I talked earlier about conviction. Well, you know, if you're driven to make money and be successful, then you should be driven to do anything it takes to be successful and want to make the money. A lot of people say, well, I want to make money, but they don't want to put forth the effort. The effort can be lots of things. It could be studying charts on a weekend on a Sunday morning when you get up before you watch football. It could be going through and getting up early, setting your alarm and getting up at 6:30 in the morning to see what trades I'm emailing out. Because again, I get up that early. I could send trades out crazy early in the morning. It means doing the ratings yourself. It means paying for a class like mine. It means going back and reviewing trades that we did or trades that I did to try to say, I made this much, or I didn't make as much as Melissa. Why? I didn't see the exit. I didn't see the target. It means doing the work. And again, it's supposed to be fun. The whole point of trading is it's supposed to be fun because you're making money. And more than that, you're empowering yourself to trade, because once you know how to do it, you know how to do it for the rest of your life. You've got the information, you can trade yourself, and you don't even need me. But I think the support system I offer in the room really is invaluable, especially the first year, you know. And some people have a longer learning curve, you know. Some people pick it up like that. Some people need time. But empower yourself to trade. Remember, education is a gift to yourself. You're spending money and investing on yourself. Any questions? Any questions from anyone? Again, I see some new people. I see some people that are following me for a while. I see some old people. I don't know if anyone has any questions about the class in December. So the class is called the Golden Gap Course. It's a full 2-day course on how to strategically find, pick, and play stocks that are professional bearish gaps. Class is online. You can be anywhere in the world and take it. Classes next weekend, the 13th and 14th, 9 to 5. Cost of the class is $69.99. Again, if you're interested, you must email me to sign up. And I'm doing a Cyber Week sale through this Friday. One for the bundle, which gets you all 3 classes and all 3 subscriptions till the end of 2026, and $1,000 off. Cyber Week sale, $79.99. This is a good deal. This is actually a great deal, actually. And then the combo, which is only $79.90, you get 2 classes and all 3 subscriptions, and this gets $1,000 off. This ends though Friday. Rose, if you want to sign up for one of these, email me for the forms because the deadline's Friday. Dan, I see you. I don't know if, Dan, you saw the options special. I know you're interested in options. Dan, maybe you sign up for the options special. And then Joe, I know you've been following me for a while. I don't know if you're ready to jump in. And then some of you I don't recognize. Brian, do you want to go over any questions about shorting, Brian? Tell me why you're afraid to short. But I know you're not, because I know you've shorted. But what works you up about shorts? Bob, I know you're interested in options still. I don't know if you're ready. You have to save up. You'll join in a couple months. Okay. That sounds good. You're not as fast. I don't think anyone is though, Brian. That's not, don't criticize yourself or judge yourself. I don't think anyone's as fast as me. So that, I mean, don't worry about it. That's like just, you know, again, I talk really fast. I think really fast. You know, even if you get in and you short it and you short, and I just bring this up here really quickly. I'm just going to make this up here. I'm just going to make this up. Say I call this short. I'm just going to make this up here. Say I call this short at 104.20, and by the time I scream do it, you get in at 10. Let's say you get a terrible entry here. Let's say you get in at like, let's say you get in at the bottom of the bar, 95. So you're 25 cents late. Takes you an entire minute to do the trade. Size yourself, get it, put the stop in. A minute is like 100 years for me, but say it takes you a whole minute to do it. And I'm just making up a trade here because, again, this fell. But anyways, even if you did, it fell. And you still would have been up. So it does take practice, but you still can make money, even if you're slow on the draw. Yes, Dan, I think you should do that. I'm doing a half annual subscription and an annual subscription for the options newsletter. The half annual includes the options class for free, which is in December, and the annual includes the trends and the options. And Brian, you're doing those 2 classes. And Dan, I think you should do it. 6 months takes you into half the year of 2026, and that's a good price. I do offer more classes. Again, I don't have all the specials in here. Rose, are you on my marketing list or not? Put your email in the room, Rose. I can send it to you, but I'm doing specials for the options newsletter, and I'm doing 2 that include the trends in the options class. One is for $39.99 for 6 months of the options newsletter. If you only want to do options, that's a good deal. And it includes the options class for free, which is in December. It's on the 17th. Or no, the 16th. No, the 17th, I'm sorry. And then the trends and options is 16th and 17th. The $59.99 is an entire year. And you get 2 classes for free. So email me or I'll email you. Anyways, a lot of people, it takes practice, Brian, for the speed of execution. But I will say this, for every 5 trades I call and I get the entry fast, quick, and it drops and falls, you may get a better fill than me on the next 5 because it could bounce. So I might short something, I'm just making this up, at 99, and then I get filled, and you're not as fast as me, and then it boops up, and then you get filled at 99.50. I'm making this up, like you're doing a short. So you get filled at 99.50, I got filled at 99, and then it drops to 98. You're making $1.50 and I made $1. So that happens just as often as me getting it and then it dropping immediately. So it's half a dozen one and the other. That's trading. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't be so like penny. It's the idea of getting the momentum. Again, anywhere you got in this today, if you bought puts today, you're in good. If you did the trades I called in the pre-market, it was a good call. Or the one I called later, actually. Did you do any of them, Brian? I know you're already on the letter. Again, if I send out trades for the options newsletter in the morning at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., you can't do those trades until the market opens. But it allows you time to get organized. You could say, okay, Melissa wants to do 100 things today. I'm not going to do 100 things with her. I only want to do 1 or 2 or 3. It gives you time to look at the gap, see, okay, well, this one's going to cost around here. Figure out which ones you want to do, which ones you can afford, how many you're going to do. Get organized, rate the gap if you did the class. Be prepared. You've got, like, I'm sending trades out early, you know. This 105 is in the money, Brian. The Netflix 105s are in the money. Did you do that trade or not yet? You missed it. Okay. Is that what you mean by you say you're not as fast as me? Is that what you meant? Is that what you meant when you said that? I don't know if you're talking about that or the day trades. Because if you hesitated and didn't do the trade and it obviously fell, okay, then what you can do is you could always do a lower strike. So like you're like, oh crap, this just fell through 105. I missed it. You could have just picked another one. Like you could do that next time. Just FYI. But there's an idea. Okay, that's fine. And again, if I call, a bunch of trades in a row and you don't want to do them all, then if you think it's too much to handle, if it's too many, then say, I'm going to do 3 or I'm going to do half, I'm going to do 4 because I can only handle this many. Do you know what I mean? Don't make it stressful for you on the busy days is what I'm saying. And tomorrow we may do nothing. We may be waiting for these trades to go further. So again, do whatever works for you for the risk, for the number of trades, and for what you can handle mentally that you can grasp. Again, some people are only doing day trades in the room with me because I'm calling the trade, the entry, the stop, and the exit. In fact, Tom, I don't see Tom. I think Tom signed out. Tom is only doing the day trades. He doesn't want to do anything on his own without me. That's fine. So again, some people are doing the options because they're at work, they go to their email, that's fine, or they don't have a margin account. Whatever you need to do what makes it the least stressful for you and do what works for your finances, You know, if you can't open up a margin account, then you do the options. Because you can open up an options account with $2,000. You can open up an options account as a cash account. That's not a margin. And also some people are trading the retirement account too, which again, you can't short. Okay, you cannot short in your retirement account, but you can buy puts. Before I let everybody go, anybody that's here, ask me questions now. This is the last webinar for 2025. If you are here and you are thinking about signing up for any one of the cyber sales, we're thinking about the class next weekend, you've got me here right in front of you. Ask me questions now. If any of you are here and thinking seriously about signing up. Again, some of your names I recognize. I don't know. Some of you have been following me for a very long time and haven't signed up. You know. Rose, maybe you think about the options. Dan, I definitely think you should because you've been wanting to join for a while. Rose, I will email you. Make sure you're on the email list. Can I run through how you open a margin account? Well, I'm not a broker, but you can call any broker. You can open up an account at any broker you want that works for you, depending on where you live. I don't know if you're in the US. You can call E-Trade. You can call Schwab, and they will walk you through how to open up an account online or, you know, do it yourself. Just, you know, look up tonight, but they usually have 7-day a week, 24 hours. You know, some of them have customer service. They will help walk you through how to open up an account. But I'm telling you, to have a margin account, the minimum in the United States is $25,000 or more. If you have under $25,000 and you have it set up as margin, you will be limited to doing, I don't remember because it's been so long what the rules are. It's either 5 trades in 8 days or something like that. You won't be able to trade Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every single margin trade 5 days a week if you have under 25,000. And that will be spelled out in all of the information in that you fill out the forms online, or I'm telling you, and you can talk to the person on the phone. If you want to do a options account, then again, you just say, I want to do options. You're going to have to answer questions about your experience with options or your inexperience with options. And then you can say, I want to set it up as a cash account, not a margin account. And then when you buy a put, and if it costs $1, that's what you're going to pay. It's not a margin trade. Then you won't be flagged if you want to do 7 trades in a day, if they're all in cash and you don't need 25,000, but you have to have it set up right or they still will flag you. So again, I'm not a broker. You wouldn't open up a trading account with me. I'm just telling you what I am aware of, what the rules are, but you can trade anywhere you want. I just named 2 big trading places that have, you know, 1-800 numbers that you could call even tonight. It's very easy to open up an account. You can open up an account in 15 minutes. You have to fund it. You have to ACH the money or wire it. It takes a day. I mean, back when I started trading 20 years ago, it was much more complicated to open up trading accounts. Now it is so easy. You know, they want your money. They want you to open up accounts, and they've made it like so easy. And trust me, they will help you. They will walk you through it. They will even help you set up your chart, set up your platform. You're welcome. So Paul, you don't have a trading account at all. Is that what you're saying? You don't have any trading account at all? Or you have a trading account, but it's not a margin account? If you have an account somewhere and you're familiar with taking trades and placing trades in it, then just fund that account. You just have to fund it then. If it's already open, yeah, if you need to add money, then you just fund it. Again, that takes a day. And again, you could trade in a demo until you fund it, practicing. I have a girl that did the class. She's never traded before. She's did the class in November. She's not trading live yet. She has like 100 questions every day in the room. She's very new. She made the right choice. She never traded in her life. She's trading in a demo right now. It's less than a month. So she is practicing on a demo because she doesn't want to make any fat finger mistakes. And I think that's perfectly fine for anybody to do that if they really are like, I don't even know what I'm doing yet. And that's okay. That's a good decision. because you really got to get the hang of it, you know? And that's important too. You don't want to lose money just because you didn't press the button right. Because I'm telling you, if you press the button wrong, the broker doesn't care. You're not getting your money back. If you mean to short and instead you go long and you lose $1,000, they're not refunding it. They're going to say you pressed the button wrong. So you should practice if you're not familiar with, you know, especially if you're not familiar with shorting or putting stops in. Again, we're talking about day trades here, but very important to practice first. That was a good question. Any other questions? It's been a good year. It's been a good year. It feels like it was a long year. There's a lot this year with the market. It was just like, there was just a lot. And I don't know what happens next week with the Fed. I can't wait. I have some thoughts in my head, so we'll see. But again, could be an exciting week the next week. You know, it's a week from today and the last Fed meeting of the year, and obviously Powell's going to be gone. I mean, Trump already announced it. He's going to announce a new pick in 2026 early in the year. So, you know, Powell will be done in 2026, which I think a lot of people will be glad that he's gone. Any questions from anyone? If you have any, you can always email me. Again, I don't know who's interested in the class or the options or anything. You can always email me here. Brian, you're in the Netflix. That's good. Any other questions? Brian, Dan, Paul. Not for now. Okay, you can always email me, Brian. Maybe you take it easy because you're just getting back in the swing of it, and we're shorting. So maybe you take it easy now. It sounds like you want full throttle, which is fine. But I want you to do well. Paul, call your broker. I keep your same account. Fund it when you're ready. Maybe they have a demo you can use in the meantime. No, there's no class this weekend. Putting up my Christmas tree. I don't even have my Christmas tree up yet. I'm really far behind. I'm putting up my Christmas tree this weekend. The class is December 13th and 14th. I got to get my Christmas tree up before Christmas is over. 1 year, like 20 years ago, I actually was so busy with work and I was never home. It was the holiday. I didn't put my tree up till the day of, till Christmas. Can you believe it? My family helped me put it up. That was that was the latest I ever did it. I'm going to get it up there this weekend. I might get it up Friday. Maybe I'll get it up tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see how tired I am. No, the 13th and 14th. You're doing smaller positions. Okay, that's fine. That's fine too. Listen, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Any questions, email me. Some of you I will talk to you soon, and have a wonderful